Hey guys, and welcome back to our weekly chat about market trends, volatility, and rollovers. Before we start, I'd like to invite you to please subscribe to our channel and click on that bell to stay updated on all our new content. So let's go and see what's happened in the market over the last 5 days. Let's start with stock indexes. Well, it was a positive week for these markets, which are all recovering from the downward trend that took place 2 weeks ago. They've been rising for almost 10 days now, so it really seems that their general trend is now upwards. At the same time, bonds have also gone up, and this is pretty unusual. I mean, generally, bonds and stocks have an inverse relationship, so it's quite unusual to see both of them rising. The energy markets continue to rise. Look, for example, here at RBOB gasoline. Over the last week, it's reached significant highs. The same thing goes for other energy markets, such as heating oil, crude oil, and natural gas. As for the metals market, well, there's a surprise. In fact, after a period of weakness, the metals have started to rise. Here you can see copper, which has risen quite a lot over the last 5 days, and silver, platinum, they've also gone up. The only exception here is gold. Among the worst markets, there are the soft commodities, which are all negative, except for coffee and the cereals, which have also been negative, at least as a whole. Let's take a look at currencies. You can see that the euro dollar has gone from 1.15 to 1.16. And then here's something very interesting, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. This week, the whole cryptocurrency market has been very lively. In addition to Bitcoin, there were other smaller cryptocurrencies on the rise, including BNB, and in particular, DOT, which has risen by almost 20% over the last 7 days. Now let's take a look at the volatility of stock indexes. As you can see, short-term volatility is still very high. It's at its 100th percentile. We can see it's also from the standard deviation. As you can see in this chart in the lower part of the screen, it's the highest over the last 30 days. By the way, it's also pretty high over a long time horizon, and the reason is that due to the last downward trend, there was an expansion in ranges. Now, contrary to historical volatility, the situation of implied volatility is quite different. As mentioned last week, the market didn't seem to be particularly worried by that downtrend. In fact, we've never entered backwardation. VIX has returned to the very low values, and the stock market situation seems to be very calm at the moment. Let's move on to the rollovers. On Friday, we rolled crude oil, which expires on October 20th, but as usual, the rollover occurs a few days in advance. Natural gas, heating oil, and gasoline will follow as usual. Finally, I would like to remind you that next week, on October the 20th, the VIX future will also expire. Well, guys, our weekly chat about the markets is over. And if you want to know more about the trading method we use at Unga Academy, the one that was developed by the only 4-time world trading champion Andrea Unga, I invite you to go and watch his webinar. You can find the link in the description of this video. Until then, goodbye everyone, and we'll see you next time.